This is the Sauder Harvey Park 6-drawer dresser for bedroom, wooden dressers and chest of drawers, finished in Grand Walnut, and I wanted to do a quick review and share my actual experience after living with it for a while. When I was shopping for a new dresser, I knew exactly what I wanted, something that looked modern, felt sturdy, and actually solved my storage problems. Like most people, I spent hours scrolling through reviews, comparing photos, and honestly, I had my doubts. There were so many dressers online, and it's not easy to tell what the build quality's like just from a photo. Even though Sauder is a well-known brand, I worried if I'd regret my purchase once I tried assembling and using it. The look of this dresser is really what first got my attention. The style is undeniably modern, very clean and minimal, and the Grand Walnut finish is warmer and richer in real life than I expected. It's got those geometric lines across the drawer fronts, which create this subtle but interesting effect without screaming for attention. I like that understated approach because it doesn't take over the room, but it clearly has a sense of style. It just fits in whether I want to keep my space looking contemporary or pair it with something more classic. In my opinion, it's perfect for someone wanting something that looks both new and timeless. It's a pretty substantial piece. The size is just over 60 inches wide, so it definitely makes an impression when you walk into the room. At about 30 inches high, it sits at a comfortable height for stacking things on top or just using as a traditional dresser. If you're wondering about what you can fit, I can tell you that the 6 drawers really do offer a ton of storage. From my experience, I was able to organize all my shirts, jeans, thick sweaters, and even spare linens without running out of space. The drawers are nice and deep, so you don't have to worry about clothes piling up and getting jammed. There's also plenty of room on the top surface for a lamp, phone charger, and whatever small items you want to keep handy. Putting this dresser together was honestly one of my biggest concerns. I'm not great at furniture assembly, and some DIY pieces can be frustrating. Sauder uses what they call the T-lock assembly system. Basically, it's designed to make it a little easier and cut down on the number of steps where things go wrong. You slide and lock the panels together with special fittings, so it's more straightforward than it could have been. That being said, you still need some patience, and I'd recommend having a friend help out. The box is heavy and the instruction manual is detailed. If you've ever put together flat-pack furniture before, you know what kind of experience to expect. I wouldn't say it was difficult, but I did find that it took a couple of hours. Everything you need comes in the package, including all the little hardware pieces and well-labeled instructions. I had some initial worry that I might damage something during assembly, but the materials felt sturdy and nothing chipped or split, even when I tightened things more than I should have. Once it was put together, what surprised me was just how solid the whole unit felt, especially considering it's mostly made from particle board, basically engineered wood. For anyone who isn't familiar, particle board is created from small wood particles pressed together and coated for strength. No, it isn't solid hardwood, but it keeps the dresser within an affordable price range and still gives you a stable, heavy feel. The Grand Walnut finish really covers everything uniformly, so I never feel like I'm looking at a cheap or flimsy piece of furniture. It is worth mentioning that if you're moving a lot or planning to put this through heavy use, solid wood will technically last longer, but for everyday bedroom storage, I have zero complaints. The bottom of the drawers feels secure, and they don't sag or pop out like some cheaper dressers I've tried. A key feature that makes daily use great is how smoothly the drawers open and close. They glide on metal runners. Think of them like rails that let the drawers slide in and out without any sticking. I can open any drawer with one hand and it won't get stuck or tip over. I've had dressers before where you had to jiggle or yank the drawer open, but here it's always smooth, silent, and just easy. This smooth action also means less wear and tear, so it should last longer under regular use. One thing I noticed, though, is that there aren't drawer catches on the outer ends, which are just little stops that prevent the drawers from being pulled out too far. It's not a huge problem for me. I just open the drawers gently, and I haven't had any accidents where a drawer fell out. But if you have kids, that's something you'll want to keep in mind. For my everyday routine, it works fine and feels safe, especially because this dresser is safety tested for stability, meaning it's less likely to tip over if you open multiple drawers at once. When it comes to maintenance, I find this dresser really low fuss. The surface cleans up easily with a dry cloth. Since the finish is not glossy or textured, it doesn't attract fingerprints or dust as much as some pieces do. That's a relief for me because I honestly don't want to spend time constantly cleaning my bedroom furniture. In the months I've used it, I haven't noticed any scratches or marks, and it still looks as good as the day I set it up, which reassures me about its durability. Another benefit I didn't expect is how flexible this piece is. While I've used it in my main bedroom, I could see it fitting just as well in a guest room or even as extra storage in a big closet or hallway. The look is neutral enough to work in almost any bedroom, and I think it could even transition into other uses over time. If you're moving, it's actually possible to disassemble and reassemble the dresser, although I'd recommend planning ahead and treating it carefully. If I'm being honest, my only disappointments are pretty minor and nitpicky. The finish only comes in a couple of colors, so if Grand Walnut doesn't match your decor, you're a bit limited when it comes to options. And while the particle board construction is sturdy, it won't have that old-fashioned solid wood feel that some people want, especially if you're used to antique furniture. The assembly took some time and space. I actually had to clear out a good section of the floor and carve out a quiet afternoon. But those are things I expected with a large dresser. From my experience, I'd recommend this for anyone who wants a dresser that feels modern, looks stylish, and holds up to daily use at a reasonable price. You don't need to be a furniture expert to appreciate the quality, and I think even people new to assembling furniture won't have a problem as long as they follow the instructions. The storage capacity is generous, the drawers operate flawlessly, and the piece really does stand out for its design, all while still being approachable even for someone on a mid-range budget. In conclusion, the Sauder Harvey Park 6-drawer dresser has exceeded my expectations. I came in with reservations about build quality and ease of assembly, but those concerns disappeared once I saw the finished product in my room. Compared to other dressers I've owned or looked at, this one hits the right balance of affordability, style, and function. It feels like something I'll keep for years, and it instantly made my space feel more put together and organized. If you're in the market for a dresser, I definitely think this one is worth considering. Please check the comments section for detailed information about the Sauder Harvey Park 6-drawer dresser for bedroom, wooden dressers and chest of drawers. Thank you for watching.